Hello and welcome. We're back again with another action-packed edition of sports this morning. We're reaching you live from Channels Television Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Austin Okonakpan. Welcome. Let's talk sports. Where are we? NFF Drama Series 8. Yes, the drama continues. World Football Governing Body, FIFA, remember, says September 8, 2014 is the final deadline for the NFF President Chris Giwa to quit office, or the Nigeria Football Federation will be suspended. Today is that day. We're waiting to see what's going to come out of this drama series that we have been following. Let's leave the politics and talk about football. Yes, Nigeria lost to Congo by 3-2 at the UJS Stadium in Calabar on Saturday. But Coach Stephen Keshi and his team says they're looking beyond Congo. They want to leave for South Africa today and beat the Bafana right there on their home soil on Wednesday and have a chance of qualifying for the 2015 AFCON in Morocco. We'll keep you updated as regards that one coming from the Super Eagles. Yes, that's it. It's Serena again. She is on fire. She defeated Caroline Wozniacki in straight sets to win a 6th Open title and, listen to this, 18th Grand Slam title. The American ranked number 1 in the world defeated Wozniacki 6-3, 6-3 at Flushing Meadows to actually end the year in grand style. We're waiting for the men, and that man on your screen is carrying the hopes and aspirations of the entire continent of Asia. Kia Nishikori will take on Marin Cilic tonight in the final of the men's US Open final at Flushing Meadows, and the government of Japan are hoping that Nishikori can actually put them on the map. Not just Japan, the entire Asia continent. They're dreaming that Kia Nishikori will actually do what Peng Shuai was trying to do until she bowed out due to injury. That's it. Action-packed Total Sports. Where should we start from? We want to keep talking about that game between Nigeria and Congo. A lot of fans were disappointed. A lot of people are blaming it on the politics going on in Nigerian Football Federation. But the players have said each time they remember that game, they just want to go to South Africa and get all 3 points. Let's see how Nigeria fell to Congo in Calabar. We'll come back. So much to talk about. To stay.
It's often said there are no minnows in African football any longer. But the Super Eagles never saw this humiliating defeat coming, given their pedigree as African champions.
I think he was looking for the man, and that one comes across, and it's a goal! It is a goal!
Nigeria drew first blood through the right back, Efe Ambrose, in the 13th minute. A brilliantly taken free kick by Ahmed Musa found the Celtic defender, who headed home to the applause of the fans.
Well, it is for Nigeria, and I think it's Efe Ambrose that buried that one for the Super Eagles.
That celebration was short-lived 3 minutes later as Congo equalized.
Oh, great football there. He turns it across and it is the equalizer. It is a very cool equalizer, and that's a sign of things to come for the Eagles. They've got to wake up. They've got to mean business. They've got to give some respect to these Congolese.
The visitors then went ahead in the 40th minute through TV Bufumba. Bufumba found the back of Nigeria's net after a beautiful exchange of passes which rattled the Super Eagles defense.
That nicely. Jide bristling, but couldn't do this because that's what you call splitting the defense. And how about that for calmness personified?
Bufumba scored his second of the match from the penalty spot after the referee had adjudged Ogenye Onazi to have fouled a Congolese player in the box.
In the shirt of Nigeria, and it is a goal. It is a goal, the third one for Congo, and they are really...
Warri Wolf striker Bola Salami reduced the tally a few minutes to the end of the game.
Doesn't believe, but Bola Salami was in the right place at the right time, and Nigeria can dare to dream again.
This result now means Nigeria must beat South Africa in Cape Town on Wednesday to take the pressure off Coach Stephen Keshi and his technical crew. For Nigerians, the heat is on.
They have come, they have seen, they have conquered. The Devils have had the day, and the Eagles will live to fight another day.
Oh yes, and they have promised that they will leave to fight for another day. That's it. That's the story of how Nigeria fell to Congo at the UJS Stadium in Calabar. Not a good one. I'm sorry I had to show you that again, but we'll just have to keep talking about it until they go to South Africa and actually prove that they are champions of Africa. Sports this morning on Channels Television. So much to talk about. Let's start. You can talk to us. Yes, you can. Our social media platforms are still very active on Twitter with Channels_sports and on Facebook with Channels-sports. That's the channel. You can actually reach us right there on your screen. Talk to us. Questions, comments, suggestions. The Super Eagles giving us reasons to talk sports. The drama series at the Nigeria Football Federation always giving us reasons to talk sports. The 2014 US Open, Serena Williams, she has won a 6th US Open title and 18th Grand Slam title. And Caroline Wozniacki is still in search of her first Grand Slam title. This world is unfair. On that note, welcome you. Tayo Salam is here with us. Tayo, good to have you on the program.
Yeah, morning, Austin. I don't know about the life being unfair. Everything Serena Williams has earned, she has deserved it. So you can't forget about life being unfair. She's a great champion. And the question now is, how many more can she win? I can see her easily going, getting up to 20.
I'm just saying that it's unfair because Caroline Wozniacki took out Maria Sharapova. She took out the brilliant Sarah Irani. She said Irani go home. Yes. Peng Shuai was going to give her some fights, but then give or take, she still won first set before Shuai got out due to injury.
Yeah, definitely. It's a shame, really, she had to face Serena in the finals, and when that was the case, I just knew it was a bridge too far for Wozniacki. But I can really say she still has a Grand Slam in her. She's still very young, 23 years of age, so it's not the end of the world for Caroline at all.
We'll get back to that. The 2014 US Open, we'll still talk about it later on the show. We're just talking about it now because of course we have to talk about it. It's still fresh. But let's talk about Nigeria versus Congo. I was at the UJ Swene Stadium, and then when Congo I brought back hopes. I brought back aspiration. I'm saying that your confidence shouldn't be dented, and Nigeria can actually shine again. But right there, we couldn't see coordination in that team. What didn't you see?
I didn't see a lot of things, and I'll just go before I go into that. I know in the build-up to the game, I said it was going to be a tough one. What I meant was it was going to be tough, and Nigeria would probably eke out a slim win. I didn't expect it to be tough, where the Congolese will actually come to Calabar and play us off the park. That's what it did to us on Saturday, and it wasn't really a good game by the boys, and I'm sure they know it. But then going back to the game itself, the attacking, one of the major talking points for me still remains that attacking coordination is still missing in the team. I mean, look at the goals the Congolese scored, all well-worked goals. What kind of goals did Nigeria score? Set pieces. Again, that's what we have to depend on. So our attack is still very ponderous. I don't know what Stephen Keshi is doing about that right now, because it doesn't seem to be working at all.
The Congolese, they came here, they worked so hard. You can see even before he played the penalty, look at the way his pants shows. He's been running around that field, but we didn't see such play from the Super
Absolutely,
Eagles.
That was going to be my second point. My second point was there was a very clear lack of intensity on the part of the Nigerian players. Like for me, I didn't know what was going on. A lot of second balls, they couldn't get to a lot of second balls. And when you're playing in a very difficult game such as the qualifiers, if you don't get to the second ball, you're bound to lose. And that's what the Congolese taught us on Saturday. And Stephen Keshi actually made mention of that after the game in his press conference as well. So it wasn't a good one by the boys. It was like they were not ready at all for that game. And I don't understand how you cannot be ready for such a game, especially playing in front of your own fans.
Again, while I was watching that game, I also realized that there was no leadership direction. I'm sure they were missing Vincent Enyama.
Yeah, well, I guess you could say so, but Austin Ejide, I'm not going to blame him for any of the goals, really. Like, he had little to no protection at all.
His defense.
He had little to no protection at all. But then talking about the leadership, I'm a firm believer in the fact that all 11 players on the pitch have to be leaders. Football is so great right now, where you can't just depend on one person, and when one person is not present, then it affects the whole team. It's not a very good way to go. So I expect all the players, all very experienced players, to show leadership on the pitch next time. When you're playing in front of fans like that, African champions, and you know you know, a lot of teams will come and play you and leave the blood and sweat on the pitch. Come on, you don't need any leader to tell you what to do.
I know, I totally agree with you, Tayo, because if Unisem Rovers, if they're given a chance to play this Super Eagles team, they'll be coming out to play to beat the African champions because it will make news.
Exactly.
But again, Tayo, a lot of people have faulted the tactical play of Coach Stephen Keshi, and that's if there was any. You punish an Emenike for coming late to camp, and then you start Anuche Nwafor, and then you're getting into trouble. You're taking off Uche, bringing in Emenike like-for-like players. And I'm saying some intelligence would have been added to that team if Sonny Aluko was brought in.
Yeah, Sonny Aluko, we talked about him making his comeback. I felt he was going to play in that game, but for some reason, he didn't come on at all. Then going back to Emenike, is that the official word for why he didn't start the game?
That's what we're hearing.
That's what we're hearing. But then, because I was thinking to myself, Nigeria hasn't gotten to that stage yet where you can afford to put Emenike on the bench because there's really no depth in the attacking function of the team. But if that's the reason why it wasn't started, then I can understand what Keshi was trying to do there. But then going back to the substitutions, I really don't like talking about the tactical side of things because he's a coach. I'm not a coach really, but I understand that substitution. You felt I think he made a very good substitutions. Actually, I didn't really see much wrong with his substitutions. Emenike came in, and when he came into good effect. It was during the time he was on the pitch. That's when Nigeria actually had the best attacking spell in the game.
It's obvious in the midfield we were off.
Yes.
No playmaker. Onazi was just running around trying to win the ball, and even when we get it, there's nobody that is getting the ball to a player that will give a final play. So much to say out of this Super Eagles, and then it will be beginning to wonder, are they really champions?
Yeah, come on, the champions. That's the obvious question to that one now, but. That was going to be my third talking point. The midfield was non-existent totally. We saw Ramon Aziz came into the team again to very little effect. Mikel Obi, Onazi, they were simply overrun by the Congolese. And the Congolese side, we talked about them prior to the game as well. Very experienced side at all. They were not overawed by the situation. So it wasn't really a surprise for me. Mikel Obi as well, he didn't play too well. But I don't know why Nigerians are still depending on Mikel to actually orchestrate things.
That's the country's star player.
Yeah, but then
it will make news if the Super Eagles are filing out.
Yes,
and Mikel is on the bench.
Yeah, definitely, I understand that. But what I'm trying to say is Mikel has actually fought the very formidable career for himself in Europe, playing as a defensive and midfielder. So it's very hard for you to bring him to Nigeria. You want him to now come into a conductor and set up the way the team plays and orchestrates a lot of things. It's very hard for him. He's used to playing as a DM. He comes in for Jose Mourinho, locking up shop and keeping it safe and simple. So I think we should cut him some slack when it comes back to Nigeria. And expect him to actually play that role of the number 10. It's not going to work again. So it's time for Stephen Keshi to start looking for somebody else to play that role. Nigeria, too many talents.
That's it. Tayo Salam says you should cut Mikel some slack. But I know you want to talk about John Obi Mikel and the way he played on Saturday against Congo. Where was his creativity? You can talk to us on Twitter. It's channels_sports, and on Facebook or channels-sports. So much going on in Nigerian football. And a lot of people are saying psychologically the Eagles weren't ready to play Congo because of the crisis going on in the Nigerian Football Federation. I caught up with former captain of the team, Kanu Nwankwo, and he's not happy. He says the right people should lead football in this country and let it shine again. Let's listen to him and then we'll come back. We'll talk. Stay.